Hey, Frame Chasers. It's Monday, June 22nd, 2020, and we have some pretty crazy news today in store for you. If you haven't heard today, Michael Keaton is in talks to be in the Flashpoint movie, or the Flash movie. We'll just call it the Flash movie because we don't really know the official title, even though people are speculating it's Flashpoint. So, Mark, what were your feelings? Because I saw your Facebook post saying, oh my God, which is OMG. What are your feelings towards Michael Keaton if he returns? This is just in talks, so we can't really... People are saying announcements, but it's just in talks that I know of. Okay.
I didn't really check on that.
Yeah.
I feel like we just a little pointer too. Like, I feel like we just became like a half a filmmaking podcast and also a DC rumors podcast.
I know. Because that's all that's being talked about right now in the fucking news. Really, if you think about it, like there's not much Marvel stuff going on.
It's funny.
Like I'm actually looking for. I go on DCEU leaks on Reddit all the time, and like I've seen like so many leaks about the Batman movie. It's not even like I'm not so many leaks, but I've seen like a couple of leaks. But anywho, let's talk about Michael Keaton. Like this is a huge fucking get if they get Michael Keaton to return as Batman.
This is very interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting.
So if you guys don't know, like Michael Keaton was
I think they do know.
Batman.
I think they do. I think anyone would know, Mark.
Well, for anybody that, there might be some new filmmakers in a different generation field other than
if no one knows what Batman 89 or Batman Returns is, they should not listen to this podcast.
Why? There's filmmakers that are younger than us. For the younger viewers, don't listen to John real quick.
I'm sorry, but Batman and Batman Returns are typically on TV. They're rewatchable films.
Oh my god!
All right, but anyway, so continue. I'm sorry.
I will still say it's still viable. Okay.
Yeah.
For your younger viewers that haven't seen the generational leap and just only seen Christopher Nolan stuff or Zack Snyder stuff, Tim Burton made a Batman series, and Michael Keaton was the Bruce Wayne and Batman himself.
Yes.
And he is considered to be one of the best to man the cowl, basically.
Man the cowl. And he was also the not unsure pick, but the pick that no one expected because no one knew if he was going to be good or not because he did a lot of comedy movies prior to that, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So it was
nobody believed in him.
No one believed him.
You know what?
But you know, Michael.
You know what? He did amazing.
Dude, you know what? Like Michael Keaton stock was at an all-time high, then it kind of went low, and like you should rebuy Michael Keaton stock in the last 10 years since Birdman, because that man has been on fucking fire. Like with
that guy is amazing.
Yeah, he's having some killer roles lately. Like honestly, I think ever since Birdman, there's been a resurgence. Maybe something else too. I think there's another movie. But anywho, dude, like
he was in Spider-Man as well.
Well, I know Spider-Man, but Birdman was first.
Right. No. I just mean that.
Well, he's still, and he's also in Morbius. He's in also Morbius as well too. Like he's gonna be in Morbius. Yeah. Like there's a whole bunch of things, and like the crazy thing about this though, it's all taking place like this. The role that I'm reading about is if he's playing Batman, there's no Batman Forever or Batman and Robin happened. That never happened. So they're taking those away, and everything that it's gonna be like what happened to Batman after the Penguin. So like the 30-year span. So like they're saying like
interesting.
So what was it? I think if I read the article correctly,
so Jack Nicholson's Joker doesn't exist either.
No, it does. It does. Jack Nicholson's Joker exists, and Danny DeVito and the Catwoman exist.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what was it? It was saying basically the idea of Michael Keaton being Batman, like the details of the plot details reveal how Michael Keaton will be Batman. Just to read it off to you guys real quick. Is basically, what was it? I'm just trying to find it real quick because there's a lot of fucking things here. No, it's not. It used to be on here, but now it's not. What the fuck? But basically, I think what I read earlier was like Barry Allen goes back in time to save Nora, but then he comes back and he ends up with the Batman. He ends up with a Batman timeline of this Dark Knight as well.
Okay.
So, but also, there's also talks about Jeffrey Dean Morgan being Thomas Wayne. So I don't know if it's going to be a short role that he's going to be in or a bigger role. I don't know the whole idea of like what the role is going to entail. Again, it's all talk, so we don't know.
Yeah. So when I first saw the article about it, I kind of assumed at first that it's actually the fact that Michael Keaton might be actually Thomas Wayne instead.
Yeah.
Now that's what I thought at first.
Yeah.
Until you kind of corrected me on that because you read the article, and I kind of like, I was one of those guys that's just like, oh, title, oh, you know.
I personally think, and I told you this earlier, and I'll tell everyone who's listening now, I think the whole point of this is perfect because it can bring in that Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond.
Yeah, so let's explain about that first.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. This everything that comes from evidence of this, if we were to put it into perspective of say multiple storylines in general, in this case, it seems like what they're trying to do, and this is from what we're seeing most of all, especially with the past movies and everything, and the current standings of what they're doing with this universe, including like, let's also mention like Batfleck's version of a HBO Max series that's possibly coming out. But no, I'm just stating. But basically, and then of course, the Justice League Snyder cut coming out, and then of course
the Ayer cut. Don't forget about that. That might be
the Ayer cut. Yeah, and then of course the other one that they're talking about. Pattinson's Batman, which in this case, if you notice, they are all not together. That's the thing, and the theories that's based on this, or what we've been seeing lately, that seems like it's relating to this, is the fact that they are trying to put a lot of multiverse, like connections to this storyline they're trying to do. So it's almost like a Barry Allen kind of like, it's the Flash again, you know. It's like the Flash fucking up the timeline again. Well, but basically what I'm trying to perceive of this, what I see from this, is that when it comes to, like, say what they're trying to do, what we see in the storyline and what's in evidence of like the comics itself, is that Barry Allen basically, he causes like time paradoxes and stuff like that because of changes, and using the Speed Force to go into like multiple dimensions, multiple timelines, or past or future kind of timelines. Yeah. The thing is that we noticed,
or alternate timelines too. Don't forget alternate timelines as well. Right.
But overall, what it's leading to is that basically there's so many possibilities that can happen with this. Yeah. That, you know, we believe it, with all the evidence that we see right now, the fact that Jeffrey D. Morgan is being talked to, that Michael Keaton's being talked to about this,
and even Ray Fisher is supposed to be in this Flash movie as well. They're saying Cyborg.
Well, that's a given. I already kind of figured that would happen no matter what. But like, and then of course we also have what was I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flashpoint, right?
No, that's not what I was thinking about. Oh, okay. Shit, I lost. Oh no, Michael Keaton, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and then we have also the fact that like these are all like evidence that we've seen so far. And we also have Flashpoint being brought up as the title of it. Now, it's not Flashpoint Paradox per se, so we don't know if it's going to be Flashpoint, but just to let you guys know already, the fact that they're trying to pull out Keaton and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, especially Jeffrey Dean, I think it was a long time ago where they stated that he's been in talks for years about possibly being Thomas Wayne in this case.
Yeah, they've been talking about that since
Paradox.
They've been talking about that since, I think, fucking what was it? Fucking not Just League. Sorry, Dawn of Justice. I think they've been talking about that.
Yeah. Like you said, for years.
Yeah, 4 years now. I think. It's been like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while basically, and now Keaton's like the newest thing that they're putting out.
That came out of left field. I feel like that just came out of nowhere, and even to kind of piggyback on you a little bit too. I think what HBO or Warner Brothers or AT&T Warner Brothers, whatever they are now, they're they see the success of, like, take the success of the CW, right, and you can maximize that now and use it to your advantage, because if they want to do another Crisis and in their own style in the movies, I think this is the perfect time, because we're in such a weird time right now and just a weird, like, interesting transition of a lot of things with streaming and all that shit. To do something where you're doing this HBO Max kind of like DC style movies, like, or TV shows that leads to the movies. So it piggybacks to the movies now. Like how Marvel's going to do it. That would be interesting. Yeah. I think they should do that. I feel like 90% sure they're probably going to do that somehow.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that too. If you guys don't know, because there's probably a lot of like filmmakers out there that listens to our podcast, and there's not many like comic book fans that's probably listening to this. Let me remind you about the two stories that are based on this, the most well-known stories that's based on these two factors. Yeah. So the first one being Michael Keaton. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Michael Keaton can possibly be in the storyline where Barry Allen goes through the Speed Force and ends up in the future, where Bruce Wayne is an old man, of course, and it's not Dark the Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller's version. Yeah, it's not I keep forgetting Dark Knight Returns. It's not that. It's basically the storyline of Bruce Wayne finding a predecessor, or is that the right term?
Yeah, no, that's the correct term.
A predecessor that would take the mantle of Batman, but for a futuristic moment, and where Bruce Wayne has lost his basically had to gain a partner in his company for Wayne Enterprises, and actually made Wayne Powers, which is another guy that he partnered with in the future.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, good, nice recall, Mark.
Yeah, well, yeah, but in this case, this storyline brings out one of the most loved characters in the Bat family, which is Terry McGinnis. Yes. Terry McGinnis becomes Batman Beyond, and you probably heard of that name, and you probably seen the TV series about it, which that's where it first started, by the way, before even a comic book came out about it. And it's funny because this seems like it's leading to that when they bring Keaton in this avenue.
Sorry, I was going to say there's two things that I see. One, we talked about this earlier about the Terry McGinnis thing. I think two things are going to be happening. Either you see Bruce, and he's going to be in it for like a short term, like not that long of a thing, exposition wise, but he's in the Batcave the whole time, and at the end he mentions Terry. We're never going to see Terry. I think that's my one theory, and my second theory is that this Batman is 30 years older, right? And if you remember Batman Beyond, the first episode, when Batman is an older gentleman, he has a heart attack when he's crime fighting. I think maybe they might use the idea of how Ben Affleck's Batman was weathered, in the sense of like he's angry and all that shit. Maybe Michael Keaton's Batman's angry in a sense, and at the end he realizes maybe he needs a predecessor or something like that. You know what I mean? Or something.
Yeah, I don't think it will go that route. I think it would be more like, because I don't think it has any relation to Batflick's version.
Oh no, I get that. I was saying in the sense of like it's not. He uses the Flash uses the parallel in the sense of like Michael Keaton's Batman in that universe is a weathered Batman, an angry Batman maybe, and then or something where he needs to like give up the cowl, and he has to realize at the end, and that also teases Batman Beyond as well too. Like he's getting too old for this shit type thing.
We don't know. It's speculation.
Yeah, no, obviously we're speculating. So that's my.
I don't know. Those are my two hot takes. I remember is that in Beyond, Bruce Wayne has powers, and Wayne has the Enterprises. Not powers.
He has the Iron Man of fucking Batman. He turned into Iron Man.
There are gangs now that take over
Joker gang.
Gotham, including the Joker.
Dude, what if? Okay, hear me out. Hear me the fuck out. What if? What if they pull this off? They end up with the mention of Terry McGinnis. They do a Batman Beyond movie, but it's the Return of the Joker live action.
it has to establish more than that first before they can do that. That's what I think.
Okay.
Because it's like, what the fuck? Let's confuse everybody even more.
Yeah, okay.
That's the thing. I just feel like they need to stop confusing the viewers about DC, because DC is wonderful, like with their stories, if they just calm down a little bit.
Well, I mean, they're throwing spaghetti to the wall and seeing what sticks also too.
Right. Yeah. So, no, but I mean, like they don't. I really think WB needs to calm down and understand that DC. I'm sorry. I get Marvel is great and all, and they did an extraordinary job with their movies and everything like that. But I'm still gonna say it. DC has a little bit more interesting comic renditions in the time period of like the golden age. Yeah, that should be like talked about more. Even the silver age as well.
Well, there's a lot of fucking comics, 80 years plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
No, I know,
like,
I'm agreeing with you.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Because they're rushing through these storylines like without like giving the premise of what makes them great. Well, and so like I was stating before, though, like to continue, like I said, from what I remember in Beyond the powers of Wayne, of course Terry McGinnis. The Jokers being one of the gangs out there, and the ultimate suit that the new like sleek looking suit that Batman Beyond has, that has like ultimate, like pretty much all the gadgets built within the suit, which usually that's what I feel like Keaton's role is going to put on as. And of course, if they can, if they might do this, because this is iconic too. The reason why, like John said, is the heart attack issue. The fact that Bruce Wayne has to use a cane stick, the whole time to keep himself up, which is iconic for that, for the role of Bruce Wayne. Yes. And the most iconic part that made Batman Beyond give an argument for many years by fans and comic book nerds alike through all the years about Batman Beyond, is the fact that Terry McGinnis is actually the best Batman out of all of them, just because he has the combination of Bruce Wayne's intellect with Terry McGinnis's stylistic fighting.
Well, also fucking Terry McGinnis is Bruce Wayne's like son.
Yeah, well, dude, that's a spoiler.
Well, people are gonna find out anyway. Spoiler. Well, you know what? The crazy thing is, you don't even find out till like Justice League Unlimited, I think.
That's still a spoiler, and it happens after Beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I'm sorry if other people didn't know that. I wanted to like keep that under the wraps for a while, because it also has to deal with what's her name too.
Amanda Waller. There's a whole bunch of a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah. Amanda Wallace, you mean?
Yeah. But hey, I think, are you good with anything else that you want to mention about the Michael Keaton thing?
No. That's it. Then we'll go on to.
Well, let's move on from one Batman. A segue to another Batman-related news. Joel Schumacher died today at 80 years old.
I didn't get to the other part. Too.
I thought we were sifting to that.
Well. Yeah. Remember I said two parts. To this.
Sorry.
Yeah, because there's also the whole Jeffrey Dean Morgan thing.
Okay.
In relation to this, Jeffrey Dean Morgan leads to another storyline that they might put in this too, and they might mash this together. It's possible. Yeah. But if you don't know, Flashpoint Paradox is probably the most recognized Flash storyline in the history of DC Comics. Mm-hmm. Flashpoint Paradox being, if you don't know the story, it's actually the most memorable story of its matter. It's the story about Barry Allen trying to save his mother after tapping into the Speed Force and finally changing things from there. The problem is he causes a paradox, which causes Professor Zoom, aka the Reverse Flash, to have basically like kind of antagonize him the whole way, of saying like, you are changing the future, which he did, which gets into this alternate universe when he returns back, where in this case, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, possibly Thomas Wayne, becomes Batman, and he actually lost his son Bruce, which ultimately leads to in the killing. Like, it's the opposite, where Bruce gets shot instead of his parents get shot, and basically Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, a very violent and killing kind of Batman, by the way, very, very opposite of what you think Batman is. And then, of course, his mother becoming the Joker. And then, of course, all the other things like the Atlanteans and the Amazonians go out into an all-out war, and there's so much tension between them, between Arthur, in this case, Aquaman, and Diana, which is Wonder Woman, actually intentions of causing like another war going on, and Superman being in a facility that's taken into a government facility, basically. And it's just a crazy ass story. It's one of the best stories of its kind. And if it leads to this, that's where I think it's going to be like, okay, that's where I thought in my head when they started doing these two specifically, to state that, there's going to be I think this is a multiverse storyline that they're going for a lot of these shows. So that seems like the overall kicker, or the overall like light bulb that just pops in my head, because it makes more sense that way.
So here's something from the rumor mill. It's from DCE Leaks on Reddit. Boris Kit at Boris _ Kit. I'm saying his name right. BORYS_KIT. He says, in these talks, sources say. If these talks make, that makes no sense. Sources say Keaton could end up playing Batman in a mentor capacity, a bit like Sam Jackson's Nick Fury, and appear in multiple movies. Batgirl is one of the possible projects, they're saying.
Okay.
Which is interesting, because it's like, well, that's a whole nother fucking podcast. I feel like just getting into that whole fucking tangent of shit, and we're not trying to make this one long too. So
because we don't even know if this is Barbara Gordon's Batgirl either.
Well, we don't even know if this is just talks. We don't really. Everyone's just saying it's talks right now, so we don't really know when this is confirmed. Then we'll have a longer podcast on the matter. Yeah, because Flashpoint is supposed to start production in 2021, if I remember reading that correctly. But. Anywho, now should we go to one Batman segue to another one? So Joel Schumacher, famous director, died at 80 today. If you don't know what Joel Schumacher made, here's some list of his famous movies that you've probably seen before. St. Elmo's Fire, he directed. The Lost Boys, which is a classic movie. Flatliners, never saw it, but I heard great things. Falling Down, classic.
Was that the old one or the new one?
The old one.
Okay.
He made Falling Down, Batman Forever, A Time to Kill, Batman and Robin, 8mm, Phantom of the Opera, and the number 23. His last movie in 2011 was Trespass, which was Nicolas Cage and Nicole Kidman. I never saw that movie, but there's a whole bunch of... he made Phone Booth also, but there's a whole bunch of other movies that he made as well. He also wrote The Wiz, by the way, and Car Wash. But it's a sad day that Joel Schumacher died. I mean, Lost Boys is his... I mean, seriously, I think that's his legacy. And maybe
that's his best.
That's probably one of his best. Even Falling Down is great. I mean, like Batman Forever.
Even Phone Booth was great.
Phone Booth is good too. I mean, even I like his Phantom of the Opera as well too. I mean, he has hit or misses. I feel like as well.
Well, the Batman movies are definitely
misses.
Like it's misses to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, like, he influenced I feel like he influenced me, because I grew up watching The Lost Boys, and I grew up watching Batman Forever, and I grew up watching Batman and Robin, obviously, but like even St. Elmo's Fire, I saw that one time, but I remember it. It's just very like, it's a really good. I think it was a really good movie.
Fresh.
I get it. Yeah, it's also like prime Brat Pack with like Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy, Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, Ali Sheehy, and like I don't know who the last person is, but still, like, that movie's fucking interesting as fuck. Like, it's
right.
I mean, have you ever seen St. Elmo's Fire, by the way?
No, I haven't.
There's a line from Rob Lowe. He goes around to girls and he goes, "Will you have premarital sex with me instead of sex?" Because he's a saxophone player. So I mean, I always thought that was a funny line, and I remember it from I Love the '80s. But yeah, I just want to mention that real quick. And also, I mean, I know we talked about we're just going to do Joel Schumacher and Michael Keaton news today, but I just want to mention, because we real quick, Ian Holm. Bilbo Baggins, who played Bilbo Baggins. Ian Holm
died
as well.
Yeah.
So I just want to
he's dead too.
So like we lost a few people this week. So that's really, I mean, that's all I have to say about Joel Schumacher. It's not really much, but I just wanted to give out some, just some like, I like his work. I like some of his work, not all of his work.
I like his work. I like his work. Don't get me wrong, but his Batman movies were kind of shit to me.
You know what? It's funny because
they're very shit to me. Actually, I'm sorry to say.
Do you know about the Batman Triumphant movie he wanted to make?
No.
Oh! You're in for a treat. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you about this real quick. Sorry.
I'll tell you right now though. Like his, it's just that he made 2 Batman movies.
Yeah.
He made 2 Batman movies that are complete flukes of itself because of how terrible they're made. Well, I'm sorry to say that, and people probably will hate me for it, but I'm sorry. The fact that I get the casting is so comical for the style of films that were made for them. Batman Forever, and it was all to make toys. Yeah, that was the whole premise of it, and I did not like his movies for that. It's fucking terrible. It's probably one of the movies I like to forget in my whole time period. Now, there's nothing wrong with Schumacher himself. He's a great director, but his Batman movies will never come to the light of my taste of saying like I will never acknowledge them at all.
You know the funny thing about that too. What was it? I think the best out of those 2 movies had to be Batman Forever, obviously, because the McDonald's fucking, first of all, the McDonald's not toys, but they had the cups. Remember the cups? They had like those frosted glass cups.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Those
are cool
Those
looking.
were cool as shit.
Wrong.
And also, even like there was a special on TV for Batman Forever. I'll never forget this. Chris O'Donnell hosted it, and he was talking about like the behind the scenes stuff of Batman Forever. I'll never forget it. It was on like ABC or like CBS, one of those channels, like locally, and it was really cool. It was really cool. If I find it, I'll send it to you. But like, so his Batman Triumphant movie, from the things I read about it was a return to darker form Batman. So he was going to go back to that darker form. And basically Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, the Joker's ghost were going to be in it.
Joker's ghost? Yeah.
And Harley Quinn was, Joker was Harley Quinn's dad.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like, so it was he said he had a 150-page script outline that was hashed out, that was intended to be a Nick Cage Scarecrow at center stage. It was going to be very dark, Schumacher recalls, and the film would apparently focus on George Clooney's Batman learning to conquer fear and to confront the demons of his past. And these demons would have included the legacy of the Joker and personified by the film's secondary villain, Harley Quinn. Here, the popular comic book character would have been reimagined as a toy maker who finds out that the Joker is her father. Whoever this is said, described his take on Harley as a sadistic and mischievous fun sense. Potential castings for Harley Quinn were Madonna and Courtney Love. Thus, Harley would develop a vengeful desire to bring down Batman, which would have contrasted with the Scarecrow's evil motivation. Scarecrow apparently would have had a personal vendetta against Bruce Wayne, not Batman. Eventually, upon working out that their targets are actually one and the same, Harley and Scarecrow would have teamed up in the third act. Scarecrow would develop a fear toxin with his plan being to use it on Bruce/Batman, turn him insane, and get him locked up in Arkham Asylum. Batman's time under the influence of toxin was intended to accumulate in a show-stopping cameo-filled hallucination sequence. Warner Brothers wanted to bring back Danny DeVito's Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face, Jim Carrey's Riddler for Batman freak-out scene, leading to a final confrontation with who else? Jack Nicholson's Joker. This does actually sound kind of interesting. Whether you like,
no, it sounds terrible to me.
I mean, honestly, I think the terrible part about that, I think, honestly, and you might disagree with me, but George Clooney's the worst Batman. And I can't see him.
I can't see him, there's more than that, man.
Well, there's more than that, but still, like,
mentioned.
But I think it would have been an interesting, like, if they made this, it would have been very interesting because we probably wouldn't have gotten Batman Begins. Like, we would have never gotten Nolan. I don't think.
Yeah. So, Nolan did a good job of making a realistic version of Batman.
There's a lot of things about the Batman Triumph, or Batman Unchanged, they call it. So, it's
there's a few things that already cause red flags, though, from what you just said.
I think you're more on the
article.
I think you're more on the Harley Quinn, but and this other one, says something else too. So there's like a whole it says like Michael Keaton was returning at Batman. Chris O'Donnell's Dick Grayson. Someone has like Jeff Goldblum as the.
It still won't
artist.
relinquish that fact, though. I will say this, even if you say that, it still doesn't relinquish the fact, and it's not related to It's not related to this story plot line. Like, I don't like the story plot line. Don't if anything, but it doesn't relate to that. It's just that Schumacher already proven himself that he can't do a really good Batman based on 2 movies already, and to put out this kind of script, I already automatically just know.
Well, you know what? He's not a summer blockbuster guy, he said. And also, fun fact of the day, which I read, Joel Schumacher said he had sex with about 20,000 men, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he claimed that he had sex with up to 20,000 men. He's actually the Wilt Chamberlain of filmmaking.
Oh, wow.
Wilt Chamberlain, what was it? Wilt Chamberlain, sex. I think 10,000. Oh, well. Apparently, Wilt Chamberlain also says he slept with 20,000 women also. So, yeah, you have Wilt Chamberlain, the pimp of fucking basketball, and you have Joel Schumacher, the pimp of filmmaking. Well, not the pimp, the gigolo. I guess they said both the gigolos. Right. That's pretty insane. So, fun fact of the day. So, anything else you want to add, Mark?
Well, just. Schumacher will be missed, though.
Yeah, I think so.
The Lost Boys was great.
Yeah.
His phone booth was great. I still put that as one of the most underrated movies.
Even Falling Down is great. If you ever saw Falling Down's a fucking phenomenal movie.
Like, if anything, he will be missed.
He will.
Like I said, I don't like his Batman films, but he still made some great stuff regardless.
Even the number 23 is not that bad.
Yes, that's not a bad movie either. Jim Carrey's.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was bad the first time I saw it, but it wasn't that bad the second time I saw it. Weirdly enough.
Yeah. So, well, you start to get older.
Yeah,
and start to understand things a little bit
It's like
more.
wine. It ages. It's like a fine wine.
Okay.
But hey, anyway, we'll end that podcast with that one. But thank you, Mark, for joining me on this. Keaton Returns, Schumacher Forever podcast special. Thank you guys. Peace.
Later.